Welcome, hey, welcome to the show. It's the D Train, Daniel Ehrenberg. I'm on the ones and the twos. We're covering Tremors. One more week of Tremors. Listen, these movies have their fans. Clearly, I've heard feedback. We have a listenership that's interested. The movies sell well. There's 7 of them. One came out a mere 2 years ago. But I've got something to say to you, Tremors fans out there. This is not a good franchise. This is not a good franchise. These are terrible movies, all of them. Bad, skippable, not fun movies that I'm worse off having watched. I genuinely feel that way. Like, I wish I'd have only ever watched the first one. Oh, right. I haven't introduced my co-host yet. Hey, I'll tell you one other thing. I moved this week. That's why the episode's late. All right. So I moved apartments on Tuesday to a different apartment in Bedford Stuyvesant in Brooklyn. And I lost my laptop in the move. That's a true story. I just flat out lost my laptop. I don't know who to blame. Maybe the movers. But you know what? They were hardworking guys and they helped me out a lot. Maybe they deserved the laptop. All right? Maybe it was people who lived in my old apartment trying to say one last fuck you before I go. Maybe they deserve that because I gave them one last fuck you before I went by canceling the internet without telling them. All right? But I've now bought a new laptop and I've watched 3 Tremors movies and, we're back in business. All right? So let me bring in my co-host. Here he is, as he is every week for the foreseeable future. And expect some fun stuff on patreon.com/the franchise this weekend. At least 2 episodes. How about that? All right? And one of them's not even about reality TV. All right, we're losing patrons by the week, ladies and gentlemen, so we could use more. Patreon.com/the franchise. I know you miss Henry, but I've got a 23-year-old Alabaman to bring in right now. Let's do it. Here he is. Listen to his thoughts on Euphoria behind the paywall. Logan B. Adair.
We once actually talked about if I was on the ones and the twos or not, and you said no because I don't do any recording, I don't do any editing. But now you still say you're on the ones and the twos. But
you're pretty much on the ones and the twos.
At least the
twos.
Right. We at least share the duties. I'm at least on the twos.
I'm on the ones. You're on the duties, which of course would be the twos.
Yeah, exactly. Happy birthday!
That was a good poop joke, right?
It was a great poop joke. Happy birthday to our great friend Shut Up Tim, by the way. Right?
That's right. A comp beast.
Yeah, he is.
A multiple-time franchise guest. Co-host of We Love Kids movies and Penguins with Tim and Martha. So many
Martha
great shows. It is Martha and Tim. You're right.
Yeah.
First billing to Martha.
Guys, this was rough. These movies suck. Are these better or worse than Species overall?
Worse.
What about Leprechaun?
Worse. I'm gonna say worse.
Yeah. What are some other of the worst franchises?
Critters. I mean, it's always these ones. I you know what? I have an announcement to make today. It's an important announcement. Kyle P. Dot, a great patron of the franchise. Maybe we'll lose another patron today. A great patron of the franchise. He has spent so much money of his own money buying franchises from us, having us cover these franchises, all right?
What are some notable ones that
Texas Chainsaw was one. I remember that.
Yeah.
All right. Grown Ups was another. There's been a bunch. All right. But this guy, Kyle P. Dot, I don't know. I love him, and I love all our patrons, but I have an announcement to make. It really has nothing to do with Kyle. It's more just I am not doing this anymore.
Right, you were going to do this before.
Yeah, not the show. I'm still going to do the show every week. I am never taking another request from a patron, all right? I owe Rambo to somebody, and we'll do Rambo. And but other than that, this is it.
if you remember, during the fall, we created a fantasy football league, and the winner got to pick what franchise they would like covered, and Mikey Graff won. I think we should still. Oh, we should still.
Of course. Mikey Graff gets his.
Right, we're just waiting because we had to we had to do like catch up on Spider-Man and stuff. We will get to Mikey Graff.
We certainly will, Logan. All
Mm.
right? But this has been a nightmare. And I look through the letterbox reviews of these Tremors movies, and all the way up until the seventh one, I see fans coming out of the woodwork going, hey, these are great. These are fun. Check them out. Monsterific. And I'm watching these movies. I can't sit through another fucking second of Graboid in my life. All right?
You think it's Bert? Is Bert such an icon? Like people really latch on to Bert?
I'll tell you what. I have the opposite reaction. I think Bert is a cancer on this franchise.
But they wouldn't have made 7 without him. This is Bert's franchise.
But the only reason they made 7 with him is they felt if we can get someone from the original films, it's worthwhile, you know? So they go out to Kevin Bacon first. He says no. They go out to Reba next. She says no. They go out to Fred Ward next. He says yes once. Okay? He comes back for the second one. Then they ask him back for the third one. Fuck no. All right? So we go to our fourth fucking choice of actors. I'm telling you, if Michael Gross said no, that fucking Plug character would have been in the
Oh, not Melvin.
Yeah, Melvin Plug.
Melvin got left on that rock. We never saw him again. He's dead.
You're right. You presupposed that perhaps Bianca the White Witch. What was her name? The albino.
La Flama Blanca?
Yeah, that one. I don't know why I came up with that. Yeah, last we saw him, he was trapped on a rock, and that thing was circling him. So I
At
guess
least
he's
manslaughter for Bert.
Bert
lured him out there, left him there.
Wasn't it Fred Ward that left him there?
No, I think that happened in the third movie.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, we
Maybe
were
I'm
back to perfection. So, you're right. I think the white one was introduced in the third one, and they did the TV show. By the way, speaking of the TV show, somebody yesterday posted all the episodes on Vimeo.
Oh yeah, did you watch it?
No, I didn't.
Oh, all right.
I'm just saying, if we recorded a week later, we would have been able to get it.
Too bad.
Oh, too bad. All right. So today we're covering the last 3. Finally, the last 3 Tremors movies. I hope they never make another one. Tremors 5, Bloodlines. Then we stop doing numbers, and then we have Tremors, A Cold Day in Hell, and Tremors, Shrieker Island. And we have the same director for all 3 of these movies. Straight to video master Don Michael Paul, old DMP. And this guy is one of the biggest hacks I've ever come across. He's just untalented. He's just a no talent, nothing director. He has no ability to visualize anything. He has no creativity. Everything's staged poorly. Everything's cast poorly. The sets look like garbage, not just because the movies are cheap. Ugh.
I looked him up. He's a real franchise guy.
Well, because he took his spot as like a straight to video guy. He wanted to be like a real director at first, okay?
You don't like Kindergarten Cop 2?
Well, I'm not there yet. All right, he did Half Past Dead with Steven Seagal. That's his first movie. All right, I haven't seen that one, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
And he did Who's Your Caddy? I don't know if you remember that classic comedy.
Nope.
That starred Big Bois from Outcast.
Okay.
Big Bois. Because his name was spelled weird. All right, next. So then he started doing these video things. So he does a Lake Placid called Lake Placid, the final chapter. He's got a Taken. Is this a straight to video Taken movie?
No, they didn't make those, did they?
I don't know, man. Maybe they just called it Taken to try and get some.
Liam
Maybe
Neeson's
they wanted
not in
people
it,
to think it was a Taken movie.
Liam's not in it?
Liam's not in it, but who knows? There was a Taken TV show Liam wasn't in.
Yeah, but that's different.
All right, he's also directed Jarhead 2, Field of Fire. I didn't know that was a thing.
No.
The sequels to Jarhead. Jarhead was like this existential war movie about like how like nothing really happens in war and it's just dehumanizing. And then they made them into like these action sequels. It's very weird. He also made a few of these sniper movies. All right. And that's with what's the guy from the sniper movies? You know who I mean.
No. What sniper movie?
Tom Berenger.
No, I don't even know what I know American Sniper.
No, it's not that. That's the one with the baby.
Yeah.
Kindergarten Cop 2, of course, which you mentioned, with Bill Bellamy and Dolph Lundgren.
That's pretty good
I haven't
casting.
seen that one. I haven't seen it, but I love Kindergarten Cop 1, so maybe we should cover it. He did a Scorpion King, looks like Scorpion King Book of Souls.
Yeah, great
Maybe we
title.
could cover that someday. Death Race 4 Beyond Anarchy. Now, this is a sequel to the Paul W.S. Anderson version of Death Race.
Yep, love it.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yep.
And looks like Bulletproof 2 as well, which is a sequel to Bulletproof with Adam Sandler and Damon Wayans, which is a movie I've seen probably 10 times in my life.
Wow. Did they show back
Yeah.
up for this one?
No, of course not.
Oh, maybe a photo bomb.
I don't think he's ever made a movie with a returning character in it. He only makes the ones that nobody want to appear. I feel like Michael Gross is the biggest actor he's ever worked with.
No, he works with John Heater.
God, John Heater. All right, we'll get there.
Who's bigger, John Heater or Jamie Kennedy?
Kennedy. Absolutely, Jamie Kennedy.
You think absolute? I think it's close.
It's not close.
You think because Jamie Kennedy had a thing called Jamie Kennedy, he's bigger? If he didn't have that,
Here's why Jamie Kennedy's bigger. You know the name Jamie Kennedy off the top of your head.
Because of that thing that's the Jamie
But
Kennedy
if I say to most people of a certain age, like who played Randy in Scream, they'll tell you Jamie Kennedy. If I say who was Napoleon Dynamite, they'll say I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. You are. That's true.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. We all rooted for John Heater. Nothing against him. When Napoleon Dynamite came out, everyone liked it. We were all like, I hope this guy's a good actor. Maybe he's like Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura. That was such a wild character. Then he came back with The Mask. He had more of them. So we were like, John Heater, do it. What's your next Napoleon? And then he was on like this Comedy Central show and he did Blades of Glory. And we were all just like, oh, he's bad.
I like him. I'll always like you, John Heater.
He's such a bad actor, dude.
He works in the seventh movie, I think.
I disagree.
We'll get there.
All right. Well, let's talk about. Well, we talked about DMP, Don Michael Paul. So this first one we're covering today was co-written. Good Lord, by looks like M.A. Deuce and John Welpley.
Yeah, Welp. There he is.
Welp. Yeah, I assume M.A. Deuce is someone famous working under a pseudonym because he has no other credits.
Yeah,
And,
it's Kevin Smith.
No, who would it be? Who is the initials M.A. and then Deuce would mean it's the second of it? That's what you have to think about. It's like Matt Anderson or something.
Who's Matt Anderson?
I made that up. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure that is a guy. That has to be a famous person.
Yeah, probably.
Mark Anthony.
That's who it is. It's Mark Anthony. Mark Anthony wrote Tremors 5. And John the Welpley, he's back to work on these. He wrote the third one and he'll be back for 6. All right?
Yeah.
This was released straight to video October 6th, 2015. And then it aired on Sci-Fi Channel the next year. It made $2.6 million at the box office. All right? Which I guess these movies are cheap enough that $2.6 million is enough for them to stand up and take notice and make another Tremors.
So these aren't just direct. These had a theatrical run.
Yeah, these 3 in particular, they didn't have a theatrical run, but they made a deal where they came out on video first and then aired on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Okay, all right. I used to love the Sci-Fi Channel. Big into it when I was like like from like 9 to 14. I was way into it.
All right, what years were that?
It was like 2007 to 2012
So
or
what were you
whatever.
watching? Fucking Eureka?
Just like whatever was on. They would show like reruns of stuff. They would have like like that's where I first saw Lake Placid and stuff.
Oh, movies and shit.
Yeah.
Not like you weren't watching like Battlestar Galactica and like Warehouse 13 or whatever.
No, no.
Yeah,
But
that's
there one
right. I
time
know
they
my
were like there
fucking
was a
sci-fi
commercial
shows.
that was like come up with your own sci-fi movie and maybe we'll turn it into one. And I came up with one called like the Crockroach or something. It was like half crocodile, half cockroach. Thought that was a good idea.
Cockroach. It's
Ne-
not bad.
Never went anywhere though.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take that over Lavalantula.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, that was the big follow up to Sharknado. They're trying to get some of them eyes.
Yeah, it didn't work.
No. All right. So, I mean, let's talk about it. Bloodlines. The reason for the title
I was
Bloodlines.
wondering the whole movie. I was like, what are we doing with this?
Well, it's a big twist, isn't it?
It was. I was actually pretty shocked. Were you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I wrote OMG in my notes, so I must have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this movie starts, like they all fucking do. It's Michael Gross just dicking around in the town of perfection, and then some dudes show up, and they're like, "Hey, Michael Gross." Even though all of the world's governments know about the graboid threat, you're still the only guy capable of taking them out. So, can you please come with us onto a plane, which we're not going to show the interior of, and we're going to fly you.
They always show the
to
cockpit. You always see the pilot.
All right, and we're going to fly you to another country that looks remarkably like the town of perfection, identical almost. And we're going to introduce a new, diverse cast of characters to convince you that you're in another country. Great. And then we're going to introduce maybe like one new character who's either like a love interest or a buddy cop kind of a thing. And that's what this franchise is. That's the formula. And I hate it. And I never fucking want to sit through it again.
Yeah. All right. We'll
All right.
see you next week, guys. That's it. That's all we got for you.
So in this one, it's Jamie Kennedy shows up, I think with like another dude or something, and he's like, "Hey, Michael Gross."
No, it's just him. He's like on a dirt bike. He's cool.
Oh, you're right. He's on a fucking dirt bike.
And his name's Travis. Was he named after Travis Pastrana, do you think?
What? Who's Travis? What is that?
You don't know Travis Pastrana?
No.
After Jackass, there was a show that was Nitro Circus. Do you know that?
No.
Oh, Nitro Circus was like kind of Jackass, but they weren't stupid as much. They were like they did like cool dirt bike tricks, but like sometimes they got hurt. They would do like they like named what the stunts were gonna be. It was sort of like Jackass, but it was like with dirt bikes and like ATVs. And one of the main guy was Travis Pastrana.
I don't remember him. I just remember Travis Van Winkle. He was an actor for a second.
All right, I went to high school with a guy Travis. I hated that guy. Screw you, Travis.
Honestly, Travises usually suck, right? Have you ever met a guy you really liked named Travis?
No.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah, no.
All right. If you're like married to a Travis, let me know. Like, what are those guys like? All right. So Kennedy throws off his fucking motorcycle helmet, revealing his receding hair and scraggly beard. And he goes up to Michael Gross and he's like, he's going to split up from her spleen to her pancreas.
Yeah.
Starts doing Jerry Lewis impressions for no reason. Look, Jamie Kennedy's an asset to these movies. Let's admit it. Let's admit it right now. Jamie Kennedy brings a Jamie Kennedy thing to his roles. All right? And that's not something I can even say about Michael Gross. Michael Gross is bringing nothing.
So you think in both of these, Jamie Kennedy is better than Michael Gross?
At the very least in this one.
Because I think I have Burt as my MVP in all of these movies, just like as default.
Burt will never be my MVP again. I am so done with this character. He should never have been a lead character. It's ridiculous. he was created as part of an ensemble, you know? Like, obviously, the lead characters are Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward. That's who we care about. Once we got to Tremors 3, where Michael Gross was going to be first billed, you can do a thing where you sort of rework that character so that he is a more fully balanced character. You tone down some of the ridiculousness that only works as an ensemble piece. It's been done before. Look at the Lost World. You know, like Jeff Goldblum is not playing the same Ian Malcolm he played in Jurassic Park. All
Right.
right, for better or worse, but they had him. He was going to be the star of the second movie, so they reworked that character so he's a viable lead. They never fucking did that with Michael Gross. Michael Gross is the lead of this franchise from movie 3 to 7, and we never added any fucking character traits to him.
But I think Tremors got lucky with this because I don't know if it gets to 7 if they don't lean so heavily into like the guns and conservative aspect of it. I think that's like what's different about this series. I think.
You think that
Yeah.
you think that if the main character wasn't such a survivalist,
Maybe it's just like an ordinary franchise. I think that's what's different about this.
it doesn't feel different enough, and I feel like it's cheating. Like this third movie in particular is obsessed with the ass blasters. Okay, that's what they're going to look for: ass blasters in South Africa. Okay, that's the premise of the movie, and I still think ass blasters dilutes the premise of the movies. The premise of Tremors is underground fucking worms, like that emerge, and you're like, where'd those fucking things come from? The center of the earth? Like, it's scary and weird. Like, it's not as interesting if they have legs and they fly around, because then you're like, well, why haven't we been seeing them for years?
Should we
And
get like a real big budget rated R movie? This is what Matty Rags was talking about. He posted something on Twitter about how these are so limited because they're PG-13, which is absolutely right. But give these like, and they pick one. They're like, all right, this is the Shriekers movie. This one's the Ass Blast. Like, have one with all of them and really put
no,
money into it.
no, I disagree with that. I say you don't do a soft reboot. Well, they were going to do this. Remember, I said Kevin Bacon was trying to get a TV show together a couple of years ago, and it didn't get picked up.
No, but then once you have if you have just the graboids, then you have to explain why there are no Shrieker. Like, I don't want any explaining. I just want to see what's
No, don't explain. Forget they ever fucking existed.
okay. That's fine then.
All right? Just do a soft reboot where, you know what it should be? Fuck all these characters. Fuck the military thing. Do it where it's like some people in a small town and they discover like a suburbia thing and they discover the graboids. Or like, I mean, there's so many ideas for this movie, for these movies. In the sixth one, which we're going to cover in a minute, they go to the Arctic, right? And like, I thought that was a good idea first, like Tremors in at like the Thing, basically, but with graboids. You know,
Yeah.
like maybe they're like on a military base in the Arctic, and they find a graboid, and they take it to like you know study, and then maybe a family of graboids comes to like rescue their kin or something, and they have to fight them off from inside this military base, and it could be like a bunch of people trapped somewhere together. That would be interesting. Do anything, and you have a limited budget anyway.
And you won't have to
Like,
show outside where they clearly ran out of budget and ran out of like the snow effect. So
well, they
they're just
never had
basically
snow. They just put like an overlay of snow over the same fucking dirt they've been standing on since the first movie.
yeah, it's really bad. That might be the we'll get into it. Let's talk about the
Well,
fifth movie. Let's get into it.
all right, it starts with a sort of Man versus Wild parody.
Yeah, that was big.
Yeah,
What's that
that's
guy's name?
fun.
Bear or something?
Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
Who could forget Bear
Same
Grylls? What a
initials
good
as Burt
name.
Gummer. How about
Great point. Maybe in this universe, Burt Gummer is the Bear Grylls.
that?
That's how famous he is.
I think that's right.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go take Bert to the cradle of humankind, of course, South Africa,
Mm-hmm.
and we're whatever. By the way, I don't know. I don't know much about South Africa. I don't feel comfortable saying too much.
I know that they have their own version of Survivor.
I thought there were more white people. Is my question.
That is a good question. I
I thought
think,
South Africa was a largely white nation, but maybe that's just like the rich apartheid. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I mean, South Africa is big the same way many places are big. I'm sure there are different sections, you know.
Yeah. How'd they get that name? They're just a country, right? And Africa's a continent. And they're like, we're South Africa. It would be like if Alabama was just like, yeah, we're South America.
Is that what that is like?
Yeah, I think so. Or even Texas. That would make more sense, I guess.
I could see that, yeah.
Yeah.
Alabama, we're getting nothing done if we're alone.
I think South Africa, it's highfalutin. Time to change that name. All right?
To what?
Is that a good pitch from somebody who knows nothing about your
I mean,
country?
you have to come in with a name. You can't just say, "Hey guys, change it."
I'm gonna say the
Commanders.
I was gonna make that exact
Oh,
joke.
dang.
I couldn't think of it. Yeah, the Guardians. All right. Next, what happens? Oh, we get the opening credits pretty deep in the movie. I took note of this. This is the most fascinating part of the movie to me, Logan. Starring Jamie Kennedy. Okay? And at the very end of the cast, and Michael Gross.
Is this his first and?
Yes, he has been the star for the last few movies. So what I'm thinking is Jamie Kennedy's people, they're like, listen, we can get Jamie in your Tremors movie, all right? We'll bring the great force of Jamie, but he doesn't show up not first build to a Tremors movie, okay? He's first build. I don't care what you got to do with this Michael Gross fella, all right? But he hasn't been in anything but Tremors since Family Ties. My guy has been in Scream, Scream 2, Scream 3.
He has a YouTube channel.
The Jamie Kennedy Experiment, Malibu's Most Wanted. So many classics. Boiler Room.
Yeah.
He said the N-word in that. All right.
Jeez.
Yeah. All right. So, fucking Jamie Kennedy's starring, and so that's what I think happened. I think Michael Gross's people are chill. They're just like, well, we don't want him to be second build to Jamie Kennedy. That looks bad. Let's give him the end credit.
Yeah. Who else would get the end credit if not Bert though?
Well, nobody, I would say.
Does John Heater? Does he have the starring credit in 7?
No, John Heater's comfortable second build. It's Michael Gross, John Heater.
But why would Gross not want the and credit? I feel like that's the better placement, no?
The best placement's first build, all right? You're the star of the movie.
You can be first build and have the and credit, though.
What the fuck are you talking about?
They don't have to put the credits in the order of who was billed.
Yes, they do.
No, because sometimes they're like in alphabetical order, in appearance order. They can do whatever they want within the movie, within how they structure how the movie plays out. That doesn't matter.
It does matter, Logan. It matters.
It matters.
It matters tremendously. All right? I'm telling you, there are actors that turn down movies specifically because the billing isn't correct.
But is the billing has to do with payment, not where my name appears within the movie.
No, it absolutely has to do with where your name. This is how petty Hollywood is. You don't understand.
John Hamm,
sometimes doing this. Have you noticed this? Sometimes when two guys are the star of a movie, like equally, they introduce them at the beginning of the movie, and the first one is on the bottom of the screen, and the second one's on the top of the screen. Oh. So that means they're first billed at the same time.
Cage, Travolta, yeah.
Exactly.
That's good.
That's a trick they do.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah. All right. So, negotiations are important to me. I like to know about them.
Yeah.
All right. So, in South Africa, we see this little girl using this tool that's used to zap the ground, and like worms come out. It gets worms to come out.
Oh, the little girl. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm familiar with this tool. It was marketed for a few years there and then banned because too many people were electrocuting themselves.
Really?
So A, I love that they have a kid doing it in the first 20 minutes of this movie. And B, they end up fucking saving the day using a version of this by like, remember using the lightning as though it's a bug zapper?
Is this what the actual purpose of that is for? To
Yes.
zap bugs, and people were abusing it.
It's to no. It's not abuse. It's people were putting it in the ground and it was it causes the worms to emerge, and basically it's a way to collect bait without going to a bait shop.
Right.
But people were like, it's just a thing. Like they would touch a line under the ground and electrocute themselves, or they'd just get a current, or it would be raining. Like there were just too many mishaps.
Oh my gosh. You ever been to a bait shop, D-Train?
Yeah, once actually. I went fishing one time when I was a kid. My sister's friends took me.
All right.
All right. There was another guy with Jamie Kennedy, remember? Because he gets a heel turn.
Well, no, that guy shows up. That guy, he's not with him. Michael Kennedy.
Oh, he's not there at the beginning?
Or Jamie Kennedy shows up, and then he's like, that guy shows up in a van. He's like, hey, I'm a good guy. I'm trying to get you. Yeah, and then he has a heel turn.
He's the LVP of the movie.
Yep. Well,
Good.
There's a kid.
Yeah, there's a kid, but the kid's fine. This movie has these movies have villain problems because it's one of these weird franchises like Friday the 13th where like they want us to love Jason even though they also want us to like root for the people he's trying to kill.
Right.
So like graboids we're generally supposed to like be into. So like we're not mad at the graboids. We want the graboids to attack. So there's always some like human in these movies. They're trying to like exploit the graboids for money, and they're never good characters. Never once.
Yeah, even in Jurassic World, it's bad characters.
No, I like that character.
Who is that?
Bryce Dallas?
Oh, no. I was talking about Kingpin.
I know who you mean. Yeah, Kingpin. I
What's
forgot Kingpin's in that movie.
Yeah.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, they're trying to do the same thing in these, basically.
Vincent D'Onofrio is so good, man. He was just in that movie, The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
Oh, yeah?
Super good, yeah. All right. Let's talk about the part where we find out that Bert loves piss. He gets locked in a cage. There's this weird part, like he's like pissing outside, and then he's already like pissing, and then a lion shows up and pisses on him.
Yeah, it's a lot of pee.
Just pisses right in his face. This dude's covered in pee, and he still manages to hook up at the end of the movie.
Yeah, good for him. Good for that.
It's like my friend Matt Wasserman. Oh, I shouldn't say his last name.
You do that all the time. You have no. You don't care. I'll edit it out.
He once shit himself and still got laid. It's a legendary story.
I've day?
Never forgotten that. On the way home, listen to him. He was on the way home with a girl. They get off the subway on the way to his apartment. He realizes he's gonna shit himself, so he tells the girl. He gives the girl the address, and he says, "I gotta run home for a minute." And he takes off like a jet. All right. He goes home. He shits himself on the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Then when he gets there, he takes a shower. He comes out of the shower wearing a robe or a towel or something. She's there.
Wow.
She made her way to the apartment and they fucked.
What do you do with the clothes? You ditch them outside or inside?
He just left them in the bathroom. He ditched them in the bathroom. He threw them out.
God.
Yeah.
Jeez, you're probably trying to keep her out of the bathroom. I bet that was a nightmare.
I mean, but what a crazy thing though. Like he shits himself and then comes out like wearing a robe.
How do you even
hey, welcome to my home.
How do you even have the confidence at that point to go through it?
It was this guy. I'm telling you, he's the most confident dude I've ever met in my life.
That's insane. I feel like if that happened, I would just become like a shell of myself and never talk to anybody.
I wouldn't be able to date for a year.
Yeah, and the same night. Wow.
Yeah, he was just like not an obstacle.
Good for you, Matt.
Don't worry about it. Matt Wasserman. All right.
We get a callback to Nat Geo. You like that?
What happens?
At one point, there's like this guy and a girl at a dig site, and they find bones. And the girl's like, "Whoa, we're gonna be on Science Magazine or whatever," and he's like, "Better, Nat Geo." It's like the same thing
Oh
as the
yeah,
first movie.
yeah, man. I wish I was watching Bones. Um, what about that part where they just do the kitchen scene from Jurassic Park?
Oh yeah, we even see like the little toe clicking on the
Yeah,
ground.
yeah. The what are they? Ass blasters. He does the little toe click, which is my number one favorite part of Jurassic Park, by the way.
The toe click.
The toe click. Yeah,
Yeah, that's good. I thought about in Euphoria, by the way, when Cassie is like looking through the door. It's like the same shot in Jurassic Park when they're doing the door and there's like the smoke on the door.
I love that shot. She looks like a fucking
She
maniac.
is a maniac.
Sweeney's good. Sydney Sweeney. She's like too beautiful to be as good as she is. I think.
I think she's auditioning for Madonna. What do you think about that?
I think she could probably do it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so around this point, the title is explained to us because we find out that Jamie Kennedy is Bert's love child from a relationship he had with a hippie. I shouldn't say relationship. From a hippie that he once boned at a Grateful Dead show.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't know what Bert's doing at a Grateful Dead show.
What do you mean? He's having a good time.
But he's
Letting
like
his
a
hair down.
conservative. Why isn't he at like a Ted Nugent show?
Maybe one girl dragged him there and then he met a new girl there.
Holy shit, bro. That ever happened to you?
No, I've never been to a concert ever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I once one of the worst things I ever did was a girl invited me to like a party, and it was like in a restaurant, and I was sitting it was like a first date. It's going all right. I was sitting at the booth with her, but I was more into the girl who was sitting next to her, like she was in the middle of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked that girl. I literally leaned over behind the girl I was with's back and asked that girl out on a date.
Did she hear you?
No. What, the girl that, wait, which one?
The one you were with.
The one I was with? No.
Wow. You didn't like slide her a note, you just straight up said it?
I said it, and I went on like 2 dates with that other girl.
How did that go?
Honestly, the girl I was with in the first place was better.
Better at what?
Uh,
Wait, so you finished this date with the one you're with?
yeah, and we went out a couple more times.
Look at you, D-Train.
Whatever. All right, so fucking Jamie Kennedy is made of Bert's sperm,
Yep.
and Bert's pretty shocked, but like they get along all right.
Kind of, yeah.
It becomes like a little buddy movie. And that's it.
This movie sucks. Might be the worst one.
It's not the worst one.
It might be though.
I don't think so.
And then there's like one point where like the kid like is smuggling an egg, and they have to like get the egg back to the people.
Oh yeah.
Or back
Maybe
to the.
this is the worst one. I think this and like 4 through 6 is the nadir.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm interested. All right.
Okay. Who's your MVP? Bert?
Yeah. Is it Jamie Kennedy?
I'm going with Jamie Kennedy, yeah.
I guess he did
We
save the
didn't
day in
even
this one.
mention
He wrote
the
the dirt.
female lead. This girl, Pearl Thusi. She plays a doctor who ends up fucking Bert. The second any woman in these movies shows any romantic interest with Bert, I just can no longer respect that character.
Yeah, I get it. Also, there's a woman in this. Like the main girl has a bow and arrow, and then in the 7th movie, there's a woman with the bow and arrow. That's weird.
I didn't. You're right. I didn't put that together, but the 7th movie is very bow and arrow heavy.
Yeah, a lot more than this one, but there is one in this. Yeah, I'll go. Jamie Kennedy. He rides a dirt bike at the end and does save the day. Go Jamie Kennedy.
Okay, and your LVP?
Oh yeah, I'll go with that SUV evil guy.
Yeah, I think it's this guy, Daniel Jenks, as Eric Van Wyck.
Yeah, Van Wyck. I remember that. I think it's like Van
Yeah.
Yike, and they call him. I think it's like a joke. Who cares?
Are any of the jokes in these movies funny?
No, I didn't laugh one time.
I haven't laughed since the 3rd movie.
Yeah. Is the 4th one the back in time one?
Yes.
I think there were
Oh, I laughed one time during that at the cigar store Indians.
yeah, you love the racism. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good. Especially this next one. The sixth one is not funny at all.
This is a nightmare. This one. It
yeah.
is a. This was a nightmare to sit through. It felt so long. I felt ancient when I finished this movie. Like my legs no longer work.
It's 1 minute shorter than the fifth one and like 5 minutes shorter than the seventh
Why
one.
are they all an hour and 40 minutes? These movies are crying out to be 84 minutes long.
The first one is the shortest.
That's absurd.
Yeah, it's insane. And the first one's an hour 36. How do they not go under that the whole time?
Ugh. All right, so Tremors, A Cold Day in Hell. And Logan, it'll be a cold day in hell before I watch another Tremors movie.
Yeah.
All right. Don Michael Paul's back to direct. Well, he's back to write. And it came out May 1st, 2018. It didn't actually do particularly well. I'll say that. It only made 1.5 million. There was some question whether they'd make another one after this. But don't worry about it. They fucking did 2 years later.
Yeah.
All right. So in this one, there's okay. They're in like way North Canada. Is that where this takes place?
I don't know.
Because a couple of times they referred to it as the Arctic.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But I don't believe they are in the Arctic.
Well, no, because then halfway through the movie they're just in the desert again.
But they sort of explain that away, don't they?
Do they?
Yeah. So they shoot fake snow for like the first two sequences. And then once Michael grows, like, so obviously, like, some guys show up and they're like, Michael grows, all the world governments know about the Graboids, but you're the only guy who can stop them, come with us. And so he does. And then once he gets there, they're like, most of the hunting we're going to be doing is actually not in a snowy climate. It's on some flatlands that were created due to some hot springs that were created because of global warming.
So they trick Bert and the viewer in this one.
That's what they do. They're like, we don't even have to try. We don't need to rent fake snow. We can literally shoot a movie that takes place in the literal Arctic in the fucking desert. That's what we're doing in this movie. We're just going to explain it away in a way that doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. And B, we are going to shoot it with a blue filter over the camera so everything looks a little chillier.
I wonder if the trailer is just all the shots from the first 5 minutes. It's all
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. Because honestly, like, the first 5 minutes happen and I'm like, because I read the snow was fake. And so I was watching it with like a grain of salt, thinking like, hey, you know what? The snow doesn't look that bad. If they could keep this up, this is a fun setting for a Tremors movie. Because at least it's different. Like when they were in South Africa, like, that's basically just like perfection, but in Africa.
Right. The seventh movie is actually the most different, I feel.
Yeah, for sure. So in this one, they're like hinting at something different. And I was thinking they were going to do The Thing. Like, it's a perfect setup to just do The Thing. There's so many movies that have just ripped off The Thing and made something viable. And this movie can't even be fucking creative enough to do that.
Right.
So, we're spending all our time in the desert with blue filters, hunting down ass blasters and fucking shriekers and bullshit. Bert has a Cubs hat now. That's the main difference in this movie.
Yeah. Bandwagon. They just won the World Series.
Yeah, and frankly, I have something to say, Mike. Bert, I had a lot of respect for you all those years as a loyal Atlanta Hawks fan.
Yeah.
This motherfucking frontrunner.
Well, he's still a Hawks fan.
Well, how do you know?
Well, because
he says, I just changed my hat.
Yeah, two people ask him, like, oh, you changed teams? He's like, nah, just my hat.
Okay, so, like, this was when when did the Cubs win the World Series?
I don't follow baseball, but I did look it up. It's 2016.
2016. So, yeah, so you're right. It just happened.
Yeah.
I will say
like between
that
movies.
I watched that last game live.
Yeah.
And it was really exciting.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I hear it's like one of the best ones. Game 7, right?
Yeah, one of the best baseball games I've ever sat through.
Yeah.
Incredible. I remember and it went so late. I was living with my girlfriend at the time. She was fucking so mad, and the game was so good that I couldn't even be worried. Like I didn't give a shit.
And then what? She broke up with you the next day?
No, we broke up because we were both alcoholics.
Yeah.
So maybe I shouldn't say that on the air. I don't know what to say
People
anymore.
know. What do you mean?
I don't know about her.
Nobody
Have I
knows who.
talked about
We haven't
that?
said a name.
Oh, I guess that's true. All right.
Yeah.
So frontrunner Bert, he loves the fucking Cubs. So I was fine with it in this movie because they just won the World Series. But then, spoilers, in Tremors 7, Shrieker Island, Bert dies. And they fucking make a memorial for him.
Yeah, that bothered
And
me.
they put like a stick in the ground as like a cross, and to denote where Jesus died. And then they put his Cubs hat onto the cross. They like hang it on the cross, and I'm like, that's not iconic.
No.
That says nothing about him. It just shows that he was into a team that won the series a couple years ago.
I-
Like I've been into teams because they were really good. Like I had bullshit in the '90s just because Jordan was awesome.
Yeah, but it was a good. You said it was a good Game 7. I'm sure that converted many fans to be Cubs fans.
Yeah, I feel like when you get into something like that, it doesn't stick. Although maybe I feel like maybe if you're young, it does. When you're old, you're set in your ways. Like the year I got into hockey for the first time was when the Rangers won the Stanley Cup. So I really do think like that holds great weight in my continued enjoyment of hockey. Like I remember what that feels like. It was the first experience I had with it. We have not won a Stanley Cup since, but I'm still chasing that. It's sort of the same reason I kept doing harder and harder drugs and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Val's kid is in this movie. Kevin Bacon's child.
Yeah. I suppose we should talk about that.
Yep.
The female lead of this movie, who is Jamie Kennedy's love interest.
Well, there's two female leads. There's like a doctor, and then there's her.
What?
Yeah, it might be confusing.
Oh, you're right.
You're
right.
But...
They do look the same. Yeah, the doctor's a little older, right? And then there's the younger.
And I think the doctor
that's...
likes Jamie Kennedy. I think Val's just like there to be
really?
Kevin
I'm getting
Bacon's
them
kid.
Confused. All right, so the doctor's into Jamie Kennedy. Excuse me.
I think so.
Why would a doctor be into Jamie Kennedy?
Listen, it's really stupid. And later, this has the worst. I don't know if it's a. I mean, I guess it is a joke. But when he's like trying to grab her from a graboid later, and she's like, "I can't take off my pants. I don't wear underwear." What is that?
It's supposed to be sexy. It's supposed to give us boners.
Is that sexy?
Yeah.
That a woman just doesn't wear underwear under her jeans?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like it could like the idea of a woman saying I'm not wearing underwear is potentially sexy. But running from a giant monster like wearing like a winter jacket and jeans. I'm not like, ooh, baby, show me that puss.
Well, he was like, I think I just fell in love with you.
I don't know. Yeah, so the other girl is Kevin Bacon and Rhonda's daughter from the first, like the characters from the first movie have apparently had a daughter, and enough time has passed since the first movie that she's an adult now.
Right.
Because they've been making these movies for fucking ever. And, there's nothing to it. I mean, it really just exists to like give us a link to the early movies.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. Look, Jamie Kennedy is his son, just so that's a thing that can happen in the movie. She is Kevin Bacon's kid, just so they can kill 20 seconds talking about this. That's all this is. It's like, what can we do to add something to this?
And I appreciate the attempt, but there's other things you can do. There's storylines, like ongoing storylines you can create with the graboids. There's character arcs you can. Everything in this series is so perfunctory. It's like they wrote down their first idea always and just followed through and made that into a movie.
Yeah, this has like one of the worst supporting casts too. I mean, all of them suck. You can't name a single character.
It doesn't have a good lead cast either.
Yeah, that's true. But
there's not a good actor in any of these movies.
Yeah. But you got this guy, the loser guy that they call Ferezzi or Freeze or something like that. He's like running the whole time. He sucks. There's like a hipster guy drinking energy drinks that he pees on one later.
Yeah, and they're all like a diverse group. Like one of them is Canadian, one's American, one's Norwegian, one's Australian.
Yeah, they covered their bases.
Yeah. One of them, by the way, the character, there was like sort of a maybe Middle Eastern fella. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
All right. Well, one of them was like a Middle Eastern fella, and the character's name was Hart Hansen.
Oh, that's the hipster. Yeah.
Oh, that's the hipster. Here's why I liked that, because the name of the creator of the show Bones is also named Hart Hansen.
What? Why?
That's just his name.
Why would they do that though?
I don't know.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
That's to be a reason.
Maybe they just didn't know.
What are you talking about?
You never know, man. I was watching a movie the other day, all right, called Cousins from the 80s, and William Peterson was in it, and he was playing a character named Tom Hardy.
Have you ever seen... Oh, you definitely have. In Trolls, there's a character's named Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's like way before Harry Potter. But yeah, that's...
Yeah.
No, but they definitely knew. Hart Hansen, that's so specific.
It's spelled different, though. That's the only thing that I question.
Okay. That's weird, though. And he's like a
It
famous
is
guy,
weird.
Hart Hansen. What does he do again?
He's the creator of Bones. I mean, he's only famous to me.
Interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're very bone heavy in Tremors. Maybe they know him.
Yeah. Oh, and birthday boy Tim, I'll give a shout out to his other show, Backstrom, which we like to talk about sometimes.
Oh.
All right. So what's next, Logan?
I mean, they start controlling Bert at one point. Like Bert starts freezing and he gets infected, right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Bert spends a little bit of the time in this movie in the hospital.
Yeah, he's like the Rock.
Yeah, he kind of did in the last one too. I feel like Bert's like he gets injured in 5 and 6, and then he dies in 7.
Yeah.
Stop going on these missions, bro.
You think he's actually dead?
The character?
Yeah.
I think that if they ever made another Tremors movie, they would revive that character.
I hope so. I hope he's like half cyborg.
Oh my god, that is what they would fucking do.
Graboid is very cyborgy sounding. Oh, I feel like Oid is like a robot, right?
No, well, I think Oid is really a thing from like the 50s sci-fi. You're right. I think robots and aliens really are what got Oids.
Yeah, I feel like that's why it doesn't work for this, like a worm, Oid. That's weird.
I like it. I think Graboid's a great name. I highly prefer
I've warmed up to
Shrieker or Ass Blaster.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. So what happens in this movie? Anything?
I mean, no. At one point, Travis has to take over, Jamie Kennedy. He like puts on the sunglasses and the hat, and he climbs into one. Right? They have to like retrieve stuff that's in this sack that will save Bert. Right? And that's like the mission. He has to like climb in one. He makes like a deep throat joke.
Ironically, Jamie Kennedy his character was made from stuff from Bert's sack.
What does that mean?
His semen, because he's his son.
Yeah. Isn't everybody though?
Not Bert specifically.
Oh, you said Bert. I thought you said birth. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh no, sir.
Yeah.
Bert Gummer. All right. Hey, you know something else I noticed about this movie. There's a white character named Yankee.
Oh yeah.
He's the American guy.
Yeah.
And do you know what that actor's name is?
No.
Alistair Black.
What?
Which was the name of a WWE wrestler.
That's so weird. When did Alistair Black debut?
I mean, before this.
All right, they're taking people's names. Then that has to be a thing.
No, but that's his real name. That's the actor's name.
That's the actor's name. Maybe it's Alistair Black.
It's not. It's not, bro.
Yeah.
Here's how I know, because his name would be Malachi Black now. He changed it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, because he said the AEW.
I thought it was interesting. Right. At one point, Bert dies.
Wait, did we rate the last movie out of 5? I don't think
1 star.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
All right. At one point, Bert dies. He like fake dies, and the doctor's like, "I'm so sorry, Travis." And then Bert wakes up. So is the doctor just an awful doctor who can't tell the difference between alive and dead, or was she just like playing games with Travis?
I thought about that too. I thought they were gonna reveal she's not a real doctor or something.
Yeah, it's very
Like,
stupid.
how do you get that wrong?
Yeah, she's like, I'm so sorry, and then he's just like,
They
ah,
show
psych.
her check his pulse.
Yeah, I don't understand. I feel like I could tell the difference.
Yeah, just like, is his chest rising?
Yeah, she's dumb. She doesn't even wear underwear. What a dummy.
I don't always.
Under jeans?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. I sometimes go underwearless with jeans.
That seems crazy to me.
It doesn't
That
bother
doesn't
me.
hurt. You
No,
wear
I
like
mean, it's not
very
like my
loose
dick
jeans.
is resting on like the fucking blades of the zipper.
But no, but I feel like when you like move around with like denim, especially if it's tight, I feel like that's not comfortable. It's like rubbing you, getting a rash maybe.
Uh, you can chafe, but what am I doing?
I mean, you
It's
could
not like I'm
just put
getting
on underwear and
sweaty.
not chafe.
Well, I mostly do this when like I need to do a wash or something.
Yeah, I guess that's how you know. I thought it was
Yeah.
weird that Travis like doesn't kiss the girl at first at the end of the movie, and then Bert's like, "Hey, what are you, a loser? Why don't you go over there and lay one on her?" And he's like, "All right,"
Yeah.
and then he goes back over there and kisses her. Yeah, that's pretty weird.
Well, I thought that was a callback to the first movie. Remember, it's just done poorly. Remember, Kevin Bacon was like too shy to
Right, that
ask
was
Rhonda
sweet. This
out.
is weird.
Yeah, right. This is like a
And he's
dumb.
his dad being like, "Hey, go fuck that lady."
It's like a toxic version of that scene.
Yeah,
There's also another weird arc in this movie where Bert doesn't tell anybody that Travis is his son for a while. He keeps referring to him as his wingman.
oh yeah, that is a thing. Is he
Yeah,
embarrassed?
I thought they were gonna make more of that, and like they were gonna have a real heart to heart, and Jamie Kennedy was gonna actually get an emotion to perform at some point, but no.
Both of these movies end, by the way, with Jamie Kennedy calling him Pops. And then the next movie, he was,
He's gone. He's in prison in the next movie.
yeah, he was smuggling mushrooms.
They definitely asked him back for the next
Oh,
movie,
for sure.
too.
And then they're like, nope. All right, who's next?
If
John Heater?
Jamie Kennedy is turning you down, just stop.
Yeah, what was he doing? 2020. I guess making Scream. He was making Scream. Well, I guess he had his picture. He only had his picture.
Yeah, he's just a photo bomb. Only his sister's of that.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild that Randy's sister is now alive in as many movies as Randy was?
I guess that's right. Yeah. Well, no, he's in the third one. She's only in two of them.
Yeah, so is he.
Well, he has a video in the third one.
He's dead.
Oh, I guess alive. Okay. I'm sorry.
All right.
All right, MVP. Who you going with?
I'll go with Montel Vontavious Porter. No.
All right.
I'll for this movie, I'll go with the daughter. I thought she was all right.
Really?
Yeah, Jamie Lee Money is her name.
I thought
which is incredible.
she was pretty bad. All her lines are just like, yeah, my dad back in the day. Like, all her lines is just like that.
Listen, she's pretty bad, but everyone is actively bad in this movie. That like she was at least a charmer, and she. I thought it was cool. They shot this movie in South Africa. They shot the last one in South Africa, and then they were like, "Let's just go again, shoot the Arctic there." And this was like just like a local South Africa actor that they found there.
Oh yeah.
So I always give a little leeway to that.
Yeah. Well, she sucked. I thought it was actually
Hey, Jamie Lee Money, if you're out there, I'll change my last name to Money.
They
You're looking for a
showed
green card.
they showed Bert's butt at one point. What'd you think about that?
Did they?
Yeah, they're trying to cut out the tongues of that one graboid so that Jamie Kennedy can get the sack out, and Bert comes out and shoots it, and he's wearing like his hospital gown. He turns around, you see his butt.
I guess I do remember that.
And I think it was really his butt. It's like all one take of him turning. It looked like Michael Gross's butt.
Are you happy? Was it gross?
I was gotta say, not that gross.
Oh, look at you. Hey, listen, Michael Gross is doing all right. Say what you will about him, but I mean, what a source of income these movies are.
Absolutely.
The guy never stops working. He's been married since 1984.
Yeah.
It just seems like a regular dude. He's an actor. That's his job.
Is the mustache real?
Yeah, he's had it since the 80s.
Good for him. I wish I
Yeah.
could be that rich where I could just keep a mustache the rest of my life. Not have to
Like
worry.
Steve Harvey.
Screw Steve Harvey.
What? Screw Steve Harvey.
No. Who's your You said the girl. I'll go Bert. You see his.
I'll have you know that Steve Harvey is the fourth best original king of comedy.
I thought you were gonna say the fourth best Family Feud host.
He is the third best Family Feud host.
How many have there been? Like 5?
There've been like 6 or 7, yeah.
Wow.
Because, like, look, the best is Richard Dawson, let's be honest. The second best is that dude who killed himself. The third best is Louis Anderson. So Steve Harvey's fourth best.
All right, not bad.
Fifth best, Richard Karn.
All right, I'll go Bert MVP. LVP, that loser Ferezzi, whatever.
Oh, yeah. Ferezzi?
He's like the guy that's trying to leave that like gets people killed at one point.
Oh, it's the same character as the last one that I gave LVP to, pretty much. Yeah, I'll give him LVP too. Fine.
Yeah, 1 star, right?
Yeah, fuck this movie. Fuck these movies.
All right, Tremors 7 or Tremors Shrieker Island, I should say.
Yeah, we don't do numbers after the 5th one. They're just coloning on them.
1 hour 43 minutes, Daniel.
Out of control.
Jesus.
Don Michael Paul, he's back to direct. He apparently has Final Cut and doesn't need an editor. He's like the Martin Scorsese of the direct-to-video world. And he's actually co-writing this one. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's real amazing.
Yeah. With this fella, Ben Brightly. And Ben Brightly, I'll have you know, is another fucking straight-to-video franchise all-star because he wrote a movie.
So they had Whelpley and then Brightly?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. Just a lot of adverbs. Wait, that's not how it works. It's no, it is. Yeah, that is right. Okay. Inside Man Most Wanted. He wrote that. That's a sequel to Inside Man. Now that movie fucking infuriates me. I've never seen it, but the existence of it infuriates me, and here's why. Because Spike Lee never wanted to make sequels. He never had any interest. And then after Inside Man was a hit in 2006, he was trying to get a sequel made to Inside Man for years. Inside Man made like $200 million at the box office. It was a huge hit. He wrote a fucking sequel. He pitched it. They were trying to get funding and they couldn't get funding. And he eventually had to shit can that movie. Are you fucking kidding me? You're not gonna let Spike Lee make a sequel to his movie and then you're gonna fucking piss away that IP on some shitty straight to DVD bullshit? Honestly, I fucking hate Hollywood.
Listen, if somebody will do it cheaper, that's what they'll go to.
That's all it is. Everything's money.
Yeah, that's all they care about.
Everything in the world is fucking money. It is a nightmare.
But if Spike cared about it that much, he should have funded it himself.
Stop it. This was like in the 2000s. Spike was not...
He was making movies in the 80s.
He was at his lowest in the 2000s, though. He was having trouble getting things made. That's why
Was that like Old Boy?
I mean, yes, yeah. Miracle at St. Anna. He was doing those like Katrina documentaries.
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on back then. He didn't really get it back until...
25th Hour is like 2002, right?
2002. I'm talking after Inside Man. Like, between Inside Man in 2006 and Black Klansman in 2017, there's a rough go of it for Spike. And I'm not saying he never made anything good in that time, but he was having trouble getting things financed and nobody was going to see anything.
Hey, go the M. Night route.
What should he have done? Just like made another movie and then at the end Denzel Washington shows up as his character from Inside Man?
Or it's Sam Jackson in like a radio booth from...
Yeah. Yep. It's the 30th anniversary of the death of Radio Raheem.
Yeah.
You know, he kind of fucking did do that because in the She's Gotta Have It TV show that he did for Netflix, Spike shows up, or I think he had another actor play him or something. He Mookie shows up.
Yeah?
Yeah. In the movie. Like from Do the Right Thing. Anyway. Brian Brightly. That's how we got on that. So Tremors, Shrieker Island. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, don't sell some down. It's better than the last two.
Is it?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I actually agree. It is, but I mean, not much. So what do we got here?
Well,
so it came out October 20th, 2020. on straight to video. But this wasn't Sci-Fi Channel. This premiered on Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then it did all right. The DVD sales 2.35 mil. It was originally called Island Fury. I read before they changed it to Shrieker Island.
All right.
Neither a good title, and yeah, and that's all I got. They kill Michael Gross off. He says he'd do more, but we'll see how the franchise goes.
Yeah.
We'll see how the franchise goes. So in this one, it's
We see
all
Bert's
right.
wife,
So
or the lady that was Jamie Kennedy's mom, right?
well, she's a character in this movie. Yeah, this is exactly what you were saying. Like, all right, in the last movie, we'll bring in Val's daughter, and we'll bring in Michael Gross's son. Just like
Right.
any grasping at straws for connections to the earlier films. And but I wanted to say that just the setup of the movie, obviously. John Heater from Napoleon Dynamite shows up. He delivers all of his lines exactly like Napoleon Dynamite. He's incapable. So it's kind of all right when he's doing like comedy lines, but then they'll cut to him to like reaction shots when graboids show up, and he'll be like, "Oh, graboids!
Gosh,
Oh!"
Bert, run!
Yeah. So he doesn't like them as much as Ligers, and he shows up to Michael Gross and he says, all the world's governments know about the graboid threat, but you're the only one who can stop it. Can you please come with me? And he's like, yeah. And so he goes. They try to make it a little different in this one. He's like a little more of a recluse.
Yeah, he's got long hair and a beard. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's all right. And
That's fake, right?
The beard, I assume, is fake. Yeah, they explain away Jamie Kennedy that he was smuggling mushrooms and he's in prison in Mexico. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay, great. Maybe some of the characters from Tremors 2 Aftershocks can go visit them.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. And so it's basically Jurassic Park, this movie. They go to this island where Richard Brake, a pockmarked character actor of some note, if Henry was still on the show, he'd be very excited that Richard Brake was in this movie.
Oh yeah, this guy seemed like somebody.
Yeah. He's been in a lot. And so he's the sort of the Hammond, right? He's the Richard Attenborough.
Right.
And he's trying to do a graboid island where all the graboids are bred to be giant like dinos.
Right.
So this is another movie where it's called Tremors, but really it's not Tremors.
Well, none of them are Tremors.
But we haven't actually fought a normal graboid since the fucking first movie.
Sure we have, right?
They just all have legs and asses. And
no, I remember one like underground going into a bunker that they electrocute at one point. That's a graboid.
Listen, they're in there. They're in there, but they should be the main threat. They're so much scarier and more interesting. Like, I don't understand. That's your hook. The reason you're different is that you have arthropods that are coming out from under the ground. Like, every movie has flying creatures and giant creatures, okay? We can go see Godzilla and Jurassic Park and whatever. Fucking check these out.
Their thing is under the ground, right?
That's your hook. You're underground. But we're never underground in these movies. Like the first movie, like that's the fun part, right? You can't touch the ground.
Right. Do you think that they just did it too early? You think they should have waited till like movie 3, movie 4 to introduce it? Instead, they wait like movie 2. We're automatically
no. My real argument is that movie 3 and 4 shouldn't exist, and it should just be in the first.
Yeah, well,
movie.
listen, we can't have nice things. They're gonna.
But if you're gonna make more movies, you need to expand on that somehow. You can't just and now there's ones who ass fly.
What do you think they should do? Shoot webs like Spider-Man?
No! Stop inventing shit wholesale.
That's what they should do.
You have this great monster movie that you're making sequels to. Use the monsters from that. It'd be like if you went to see... It's like fucking Halloween 3, these movies.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, they just take the idea that they have and don't use it. Right.
Yeah. Now you're just watching movies about monsters that like vaguely resemble the monsters from the first movies. It's horrible.
But they don't even really, because in the first movie they're like real creatures, and in this they're all like computer.
Yeah. All right. So that's true. That's a good point. There's no creativity now anyway. Like it's all CG and
Except
anyway.
I think the one that Jamie Kennedy climbs in 6, I think that what they did build a real that looked real, kind of.
Could have been an old prop.
That's true.
They found it at Planet Hollywood somewhere. They I mean the cast in this one is a little improved. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Richard Brake is a much better antagonist than we've seen in the previous two. And my MVP personally is the great Jackie Cruz.
Who's that?
She's that like real cute girl that wants to fuck John Heater.
Which one? Oh, she's like cool. She like knows how to handle guns and stuff.
Yeah, I know. They try to present her as though she's like a tomboy, but she's this like stacked hot girl. She just has short hair.
Yeah, you think she's the MVP? I thought you were gonna go with this Richard Brake guy.
I mean, he's probably the actual MVP, but I liked this girl from Orange is the New Black, so I popped pretty hard when she showed up.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get to it later. Yeah, she's pretty good though. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. She's probably miscast, but
Well, I don't think anybody's. There's no characters in these movies, so it's not like you can be cast and like really make a meal of your role.
well, Richard Brake makes a meal. There's like one scene where he's just like laughing maniacally. That's
well, he's
pretty
the
good.
villain. Yeah, you're allowed to do that when you're the villain, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, they
So,
shoot an apple off somebody's head during this movie. I like that.
Did you
scene.
like that?
Yeah, that was like pretty long scene, but I was into it. I was like hanging out with these characters.
I bet that you are the type of person who watched that and thought I could do that.
No, it seems like something I would say, but no, I could definitely not do that. You ever play the computer games though, where you do that, where you shoot apples off the character's head? That's
No,
always
what
fun.
the fuck are you talking about?
It's like computer games that you can play. Like in school,
I
you
don't know those
can't
games.
play real games, so you just play like shoot the apple off the guy's head.
Did they
games.
have Oregon Trail in your school?
That was before my time. I'm sure you. I'm sure
Yeah,
they did.
see, this is the generations. We didn't have the shoot the apple game. We had Oregon Trail.
Yeah, we had a Pop Tropica. That was big in like
I don't know that
in my
either.
elementary school. You don't know Pop Tropica?
No, what do you do there?
You like create a character and you like wander through this world and play games. You can make get like an outfit. It sounds like Grand Theft Auto, but it's not Grand Theft Auto. It's like it's like a cartoon character. It's like I don't know. It's hard to explain.
What was your character's name that you created?
Oh, I don't remember. This
for
is like
Pop Tropical?
elementary school, but you like everyone in school had one. It was like I don't know if it was like a school thing, but like everyone had a Pop Tropica character.
Logan, remember I told you I tried to change my name to Logan in elementary school?
Yeah, Logan Gray.
Logan Gray, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you revealed that in one of the Child's Play episodes because I paid for Child's Play.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did.
Yep.
All right. So they're wandering around this island hunting.
Yeah, they are.
That's most of the movie. And,
But they don't have guns. It's like flamethrowers and machetes and like dynamite
and a
right?
bow and arrow.
And a bow and arrow, but only one bow and arrow.
Yeah, just one by that one cool black girl.
Yeah, she is pretty cool. There's a bird in this movie, by the way. The
character's
stack.
name Cassie Clare is the actress who played the black woman.
Yeah,
She's on The Witcher now.
All right, shout out to Cassie Clare. The girl that you said was stacked.
Episode.
She had a bird at one point, and I was worried that was gonna annoy me, but it didn't really come into.
I thought
play.
you loved birds.
No, misconception, D-Train. People think that, but that's wrong.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
All right.
We hear the words viral pandemic because it's 2020.
Great. You run this one. I don't remember any of this shit.
What do you think about that? Viral pandemic, they say.
Well, I mean, I don't think you need to use viral at that point, right? You could just say pandemic.
Right, that was my thought too. Pandemic means worldwide, no? Wait, well,
yeah.
Well, what does viral mean?
Burt Gummer probably thinks it's more like... I'm glad Burt died before COVID. He wouldn't have handled it well.
He's going to come back.
He would be an anti-masker.
Oh, absolutely. This one ends, he's like, all right, everybody, pay your taxes or whatever, because in the last one, he didn't want to pay his taxes. I feel like these movies are weird, guys.
Yeah, sometimes I take a step back. Like, Burt is he's a survivalist conservative. So he's not just a conservative. This is a guy who believes AR-15s should be open carry in schools. It's hard for me to root for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, he ends up dying, so we're all happy about that. And
That was kind of sad.
were you
Yeah, a little bit.
really? You felt an emotion when he died?
Well, it was unexpected. I didn't expect him to die.
No, nor did I. I actually rewound it. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Me
Because
too.
I was honestly barely watching the movie. So I looked up. I see the fucking Cubs hat go on that cross. I'm like, "What?"
It reminded me of the end of Logan, right? You expect somebody to turn it into an X, the little cross.
That's right. Yeah, that's
That would have
awesome.
been good.
Yeah. All right. So Bert's dead. Heater is like, "Oh, I guess I'm sad about that."
Yeah.
I like your sleeves. They're big. Um, that's my favorite line from
Vote for
Funny
Bert.
Dynamite. Oh yeah, Pedro.
There's like a. Did you watch the stick around for the credits?
No, is there a stinger or a shrieker? Maybe we call him now.
That's pretty good. No, I mean I did stick around for the very end, but during the credits, there's like a sad song, and there's like Bert. Like
Oh,
a Bert
there's a
highlight reel.
montage. I did watch the montage of Michael Gross's appearances in these movies.
Yeah, I thought that was a good bit.
I will say heavily weighted to scenes from the first one because that's the one people remember and like and care about.
Yeah, and
It's amazing how long franchises can last just on goodwill from one good movie.
yeah, that's all they need. Um,
Yeah.
and it said celebrate Burt Gummer Day, April 14th. I guess that's
April
official.
14th, the day after my mom's birthday.
A day after my brother's birthday. That's kind of crazy.
Wow, your brother and my mom have the same birthday?
Yeah, apparently April 13th. Yeah,
That's outrageous.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
they're
is.
soulmates.
Yeah, I don't think
How
so.
old's your brother?
He has not got the vaccine. I don't think.
Oh no! Oh, he's that brother,
Yeah, that
the shitty brother.
Yeah, I don't
All
think
right.
they're gonna get along well.
Bummer. All right.
MVP. Who you got? Oh, you said the girl.
Yeah, Jackie Cruz.
Yeah, I'll go with the bad guy. What was his name?
Richard Brake.
Yeah, I'll go with that guy as a shout out to Henry.
I think Henry might have given him an MVP actually in one of those Rob Zombie movies. That was another franchise that Kyle picked.
Oh yeah, House of a Thousand Corpses. Those.
Yeah, those.
Jeez. LVP. Can I go with that little bird? I don't know who else to give it
why
to.
not?
All right.
Go ahead.
Everyone's equally good and bad.
I'll go with Heater.
Oh no.
Sorry.
He's not that bad.
He's bad.
1 star.
Yeah, they're all 1 star. Fuck these movies.
All right.